Hey there, it's Rachel Mullins, the host of Hashtag No Filter Fridays on Public House Media.
What's up, everybody? This is Christian Heimel, host of Press Row here on Public House Media. Thanks for listening to the following broadcast on Public House Media. Once you're done with this episode, I hope you'll come check out my show, Press Row, where we talk about the biggest issues in sports with the analysts, experts, and reporters who cover them. No nonsense, hard-hitting interviews on the sports topics you're talking about. A new show comes out every single Thursday. And don't forget to subscribe on iTunes so you never miss an episode of Press Row. Thanks again for checking out the following broadcast on Public House Media.
Welcome to the C. Jane Sell Podcast,
a relatable sales podcast for your weekly dose of sanity. I'm your host, Chelsea Dupre.
And I'm your host, Lee Nevis. Hello, friends. It's Lee. You're here. Thank you for being here, listening to C. Jane Sell Podcast, the C. Jane Sell Podcast, the C. Jane Sell Podcast. Thanks for being here. If you can tell, it is just myself today, just for the intro. Chelsea will be here later for the interview. Chelsea today is at work like a responsible adult and can't really leave to do our podcast. So I'm going to just give a little quick intro and just warm you guys up and let you know that you're in good hands. You're here. You're going to listen to an awesome interview today. You're going to feel inspired. You're going to feel motivated. And we're happy that you are here again. I'm happy that you're here. Speaking for both of us, we are both happy that you're here. It is an absolutely gorgeous day right now in Louisville, Kentucky. It is like 72, sunny, light breeze outside. So I'm just in a great mood, and I'm feeling very like reflective today. Does anyone else get like, I feel like when it's absolutely gorgeous outside, I get very much just like in this really like this spiritual space where I feel a lot of gratitude for things in my life. Like just very simple things like, hey, you know what? I can walk outside and I can literally smell grass. And that's awesome. Or I can walk down the street and go for a run. And that's amazing because my legs work, or whatever you feel grateful for. Just very simple things that we forget all the time because we're businesswomen, we're entrepreneurs, we're in sales. Like you get so wrapped up in hitting your goals and doing this and waking up and grinding and you get really down on yourself when you aren't able to do those things. And we forget that sometimes in life it's very simple, small stuff that we need to recognize and embrace and be grateful for. So that's how I'm feeling today. And I just really wanted to share that with you all because I think ever since our interview that we did with Amanda Graves, who you will hear in a moment, I've been feeling like, I just think her story is so cool where she was just a mom. She just picked up a camera, just happened to be kind of good at it. Didn't, expect to be this incredibly successful photographer, however many years later. I think that it was really cool that she just embraced the small stuff first and embraced that she knew she wanted to just capture love. She wanted to capture, a little baby or a couple. And that is the root of her business. And that is what gave her success because she wasn't waking up like, oh my gosh, I want to do X, Y, and Z. I want to grow. I want to become a billionaire, whatever, which all of those goals, by the way, are incredible and awesome. And if those are your goals, heck yes, bitch, get it, like do your thing. That's amazing. But sometimes that mentality, if you're like that 24/7, can be really just hurtful and it can be really like damaging on your like psyche. So I think that what I have been able to reflect on from listening to Amanda is just go with the freaking flow and be grateful for what you have. And if you are positive and if you embrace what you're doing, you will be successful. So that's my little golden nugget intro. I guess that's it. This is almost 4 minutes long now. So you're probably like, Lee, shut up. Please get to the interview. So without further ado, this is our interview with the amazing Amanda Graves of Amanda Graves Photography.
everybody. Welcome to another episode of CJ and Sell. We have one of my very best and dearest friends with us here, Amanda Graves. How are you, ma'am?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Yay.
And of course, Lee's here.
Hi. I'm here too.
So today we wanted to talk about being an entrepreneur, but also being a mom and the balance and finding what success means to you. So we're going to...
Totally. And we think that Amanda's probably, the perfect example of this. And so we really wanted to bring her on. She started her own business while raising 3 children, not just 1, 3, y'all. And she's been extremely successful in doing this. So we just wanted to bring you on and chat with you and just have a little conversation that might be a little relatable to any moms out there that might be listening. So welcome.
Well, thank you. It's funny when I was listening to you say that, and it instantly comes in my mind, oh my gosh, I can't believe that's real life, because it was. And I think the whole time going through, my youngest is in school now, but thinking it was some really good times and some really not good times, trying to balance what I desired as a woman, what I desired just as a human being, and also as a mom. I learned early on that I was more than just a mom, but that was one of my greatest purposes, but that I could have desires and goals and ambitions, and that it wasn't on the back burner, or that I wasn't putting them on the back burner either, that they could coexist side by side, but that there was never balance. If one fell, that means I was giving my time to something else. So I feel that was in success, that I'm still alive. My kids are alive. My business is still thriving. And, I'm here to talk about it. So.
Well, and a few weeks ago, we talked about the societal pressures of being a woman and having kids, not having kids, how you're raising your kids, are you getting a nanny, are you doing blah, 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 blah. So just a brief touch on that from a working mother, business owner perspective. I know you had some thoughts when we had chatted a little bit.
Yeah, I think I started my business after I had my second child, so it wasn't like I was putting it on a back burner to have children.
Mm-hmm.
And so I do find happiness in other things. My kids bring me happiness, but they also bring me sadness too. And so photography for me at the time, when it was my baby business, was an outlet. And at the beginning, I don't even know if I treated it like a business. It was more like a really expensive hobby that I was hoping to get compensated for. But as it grew, and as I grew, I realized I'm really good at this. I, in fact, know how to be a business owner, and I can still be a really good mom. And I don't think I'll look back and be like, oh, my kids suffered so much because I was gone at night shooting pictures, or they had to get a babysitter because I had a session when it was their spring break or something. There were definite moments where I was like, I can't do either one of these well, so one of them has to go. And I would talk about that all the time with my husband. I'm just going to quit because I'm going to be a really terrible mom, and I don't think I can't give this photography thing what I want. And he was like, well, whatever you want to do, which was not what I wanted to hear. I wanted him to tell me exactly what I should do. And so I would go through those hills and valleys of, I just want to be a really good mom. That's all I ever want to do. And that would make me toss and turn at night, because I also wanted to be a really good photographer. And what does that mean? A really good photographer, I want people to feel things when they look at my pictures. I don't want to just take pictures. I want to be a storyteller. I want, people to, like yesterday I posted a picture of this little boy who has Down syndrome. It got a ton of likes. Why? They can relate. They see, when you look at someone with special needs, you feel things. Mm-hmm. And that's why that didn't come later on. It probably came within a couple of years ago. But that also wanted my kids to know that there's a value in hard work and making something that's yours. So my kids have not suffered. They have a mom that's at every class party and volunteers at everything she can, and goes and eats lunch at school, because I've created that life. If I don't want to work tomorrow, I don't schedule a session. So I can go to field trips. Sometimes people think you have to have a lot of money to be a stay-at-home mom, and you don't have to be. It's a choice. But I mean, luckily I got to make that choice. Yesterday, my son got home and he was like, "Mom, it's 5 o'clock. Why are you just now making your bed?" And I was like, "Because I've been working in my bed all day." And I was like, "And guess what? Mommy got to do that. Mommy chose where her office was today."
Yeah.
Not very many people get to say to do that.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah. Well, I think that at a certain point in motherhood, I'm assuming you kind of find a security in just being confident in your capabilities of being a mom and working and keeping a job. For like any like new moms out there that are listening to this, I can imagine. Here's the thing: I've never had kids before. I really don't know, but I imagine when I have my first kid, if I have my first kid, I'm probably going to go through this whole like, oh my gosh, like, am I a horrible mom for doing this and blah blah blah. What do you think is the best way that you found to just not be so hard on yourself and to just like accept that you were enough?
Yeah. That, I mean, it's the $1 million question, and
Yeah.
I think if I had the answer, we would all be millionaires right now. But I do encounter first-time moms with their second kid, which is the hardest. Obviously, come in my studio, and either I've met them for this first time, or now it's their second time coming back, and we've shared a relationship through the kids' first year of life, and I can relate to their struggles. One of the things I always thought, you always get unsolicited advice as a mom, especially first-time moms. So people tell you what kind of diapers, even to like what you should put your thermostat on in your house. That's crazy. But I always say, don't listen to anybody's advice. Like, you are this child's mother, no one else. And when you say, are you comfortable in your just ability to be a mom? When you get comfortable, they grow older, and then like my oldest son is like prepubescent, and you know, there's a whole other thing. So I can potty train, I can get them to sleep through the night, I can teach them how to ride a bike, but this preteen stuff, it's all new. So am I confident at this moment? No, absolutely not. But I can do babies. Babies I've got. But as first time moms, I would just say, just take a breath. And when you go back to work, if you have to put your kid in daycare, it's okay. If they have to have a bottle, it's okay. Like, this is your baby, and it's no one else's baby. And you get to make the choices. It's your... And the fact that you're wondering if you're a good mom, you're a good mom. Very few bad moms question, I wonder if I'm being a good mom today. The bad ones don't ask that question. The good ones worry about that. And so if you have that thought on your mind, you're doing exactly what you're supposed to do.
That's awesome. That's really good advice, is don't listen to other people's advice.
Yeah. I mean, you have trusted friends that, of course, you know, the baby's crying or I can't, you know, what do you use for this? Absolutely. But the unsolicited advice is definitely the ones you don't listen to. Yeah. And, you know, I would, without kids, you would be, I'll never let my kid do that, or my kid will never wear that, or they'll never leave the house looking like that. They will. I always said before we had kids, oh, the house will be clean and da-da-da-da-da. It won't. And it's okay. So the cool things in life is there's really hard times in motherhood, and there's also, I mean, more rewarding times of okay, this is exactly what it's supposed to be. I thought I loved before, but seeing your heart in someone else is really where you, and even, I mean, I have friends who've adopted. It has nothing to do with genetics. I mean, I have a dog in my lap, and I love him. Yeah, but I think it's, I mean, I have a 11-year-old son. There are things that we are just alike, and things are a polar opposite. The other night, we were having kind of a tiff, and he was like, "Mom, you ruined my life." And he was like, I hate you. And I wanted to cry inside. And I wanted to, you know, not hit him, but just, you can't say those types of things. But I just went outside, and I was like, oh my goodness, what am I going to say to him? And I came inside, and he says, "Will you help me with my homework?" And I was like, "No, I can't. I'm sorry." And he was like, "What? You're not going to help me?" And he came downstairs, and he said, "I'm so sorry. I got angry, and I said things I don't mean, and will you forgive me?" Absolutely. And those are the things in motherhood. You're like, 10 minutes ago, I was like, oh, he's ruined. He just told me he hated me while I've seen him. Yeah. And now he understands the value of my mom will always forgive me. You know, and she loves me no matter what I say. So those are the things in motherhood that you can't get anywhere else. You know, you can't learn that. You know,
yeah,
you can't learn that anywhere else. I mean, with a spouse you can, but it's different because your child sees life unconditionally.
Yeah.
So I love my kids, but I love my dog too.
Yeah. That's incredible. So kind of transitioning just from that, learning as you grow, let's talk a little bit about your business.
Yeah.
And so, this wasn't a business that you thought you were going to start when you were 5 years old and this was your goal. You kind of fell into this. So kind of give us a little background about how you kind of got your start in the photography world.
Well, I don't know how far back you want me to go.
As far as you want.
Photographer in high school, enjoyed it, loved it, did the sports, developed film. It was great. Was encouraged to do something more with my life, so went to University of Kentucky.
Go
graduated.
Cats.
Yeah, go Cats. Graduated with a degree in biology.
Gross.
Thought about going to med school, pharmacy school, and then just decided that that's not what I wanted to do. In the outside world, they would be like, "Oh, she doesn't have any ambition," because you think of doctors and pharmacists and lawyers as, intelligent, financially stable people. So why wouldn't she want to do that?
Mm-hmm.
Got married and worked for a few years. And when I had my first child, decided to stay home. And out of that first child came a second child. And after that child, it was not a great time. My first child was really hard. He didn't speak, and he had a lot of behavioral issues, and we just had a terrible time with him, and didn't even really want to have a second child. Because I thought, if one was like this, there's no way I could handle two like him.
Yeah.
But God sent us a really cute little angel, and she's super sweet, and made me not question my purpose in life, and made motherhood really fun. And then after her, I took pictures of them together, and I look at they're atrocious. But I did it, and I loved it. It filled something in my mind. It literally looked like a naked baby, a frog, really laying on this backdrop. It was so terrible. Had a camera, and I'm like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it the right way. So I went to a mentoring in North Carolina, and that lady is actually not even in business anymore. Just got hands-on training with her. That was in August. September 1st, I rented a studio and became a business at that point. So August of 2011 is when it all started. It was just baby. Two kids, stay-at-home mom. We lived in southern Indiana. My husband worked in Middletown, and I would drive, across the bridge with my two babies. He would meet me at my studio. I would do sessions at night after he got off work. And so that's how it started. And that's where we are now, a long time ago, but it's evolved from that.
Yeah. So what do you think was the moment that you realized this could actually be a lucrative business? I could make money doing this.
So this was 2011, and I was charging $50 for a session of just one child, and then $175 for a newborn. And at that time, when I wasn't bringing income at all, it felt like a decent amount of money. I could contribute to diapers or the YMCA membership or something. I could do something to add to our finances. And it made me happy. It gave me time away. So really the time away and the desire to grow not even necessarily a business, but a trait or a skill or an art was really my motivation. Or really I can do this, so I'm going to prove to myself that I can do it. So at first, money wasn't my motivation. Really, I just wanted to be able to pay my rent. So probably it wasn't until I had my third baby and I moved into my third studio, and the rent had, at that point quadrupled, and my work was becoming more steady, meaning I could produce consistent work. It wasn't, because some sessions would be atrocious, and now with the time and experience, the kids can be terrible and the pictures will still be beautiful. That's the difference, I think, in someone who just takes pictures and someone who tells a story. Because I'll have clients all the time say, I have no idea how you got that. It was a complete train wreck. And I'll say, I see things you don't. And she's like, you absolutely do. And so probably 2013 was when I think that it started that this is a business. I'm going to do it. I'm going to make money. And I'm going to make this amount of money this year. And next year I'm going to make this amount of money. And this year I have goals of things that are outside financially. I want to speak at a women's conference, and I want to
Be on a podcast.
be on a podcast. Which
Check
I don't
that
know
off
if
the list.
anybody ever wants to hear anything I have to say.
No.
You're great.
That's awesome. Well, I think that it's really important that you started this business and you wanted to do it just because you felt that it fulfilled you. And when you really realized that it was kind of ramping up, it was because you wanted to tell a story. You weren't just like, I want to be the best. I want to do this. Like, I think that that's so important. And I think a lot of people kind of forget that is like the actual like art of creating something and the art of like touching someone else and the art of, you know, helping other people is so incredible and kind of underappreciated in business. But I think that seems like the accelerator that made you kind of go from just like, oh, I want to take pictures to now like an actual working business.
Mm-hmm.
So that's incredible. That's incredible.
You're just incredible.
Well, I did not pay you today to say that, but I'll pay you later.
Perfect.
Perfect.
And like the thing about it is there are tons of photographers in town. I mean, you can go on a rabbit hole on Instagram and compare yourself to everyone. But I don't have 30,000 followers. But the ones who follow me are clients. You know, they're people who pay me for sessions.
Yeah.
And grandmas who follow me and like my pictures. So it may be a small following, and I don't necessarily mean that means it's small.
Yeah.
So that's what's cool about it is you don't have to have 30,000 followers to have a successful business.
That's awesome.
Or 60,000 or whatever.
Nice. What does success mean to you?
Success means to me that I'm happy. That I don't want to get up and quit every single day. That I dread going to a session. That I don't think of things that inspire me. When I go outside, I look at light and I'm searching, you know, for things that people would, why are you going there? Or just today I was like, you know, out with another photographer friend helping her find locations for sessions she has tomorrow. And I feel like when I don't want to do it anymore, that's when it's not successful for me. Of course, I think success can be divided. It can be how it makes you feel and what it makes you want to do. So what makes me feel is I still want to do it. I want to capture stories. I want to, you know, take pictures of baby toes. But what do they want me to do? I want to make more money. I want to go to this next level. I want to increase my prices, because when I increase my prices, I weed out people who aren't my ideal clients.
Yeah.
So success is kind of twofold. It's not necessarily all financial or money motivated. It's if I'm happy, then I think you think of teachers. Why would anybody want to be a teacher? They don't make any money. But the teachers in my kids' life, they're inspirational. I mean, they're an integral part of my life. And so that's how I want to be in people's lives. I want to be, when they think of a special moment, Amanda Grace has to be there. I want her to capture it.
Aww.
That's awesome. That's amazing. How do you get over the fear of imposter syndrome? Because I think that for me, I feel like being a photographer would be so difficult because there's so many and there's so many options, and not just like options across America. I mean, like literally just in any city or town that you live in, there's a million different options. How do you get over that fear of feeling like you're not the top of your game or you're not the best, or how do you get over that fear?
Well, I still have it, so I haven't quite got over it. It comes and goes in waves. I mean, I have to limit the amount of photographers that I follow. Only follow ones that inspire me to be better, not that I'm comparing myself to. And I think that's just as a woman, you know, social media is a rabbit hole of things that don't exist. So only follow people that inspire me, and as long as my business is good, I can't worry about what anybody else is doing. There are moments when either it was a bad session or something that I'll get in that rabbit hole of, let me see what so-and-so's doing, or she's really good and she only charges $100. You know, but her clients obviously aren't my ideal clients, because if they want to pay $100, then that's fine. But I also have to, their success doesn't take away from mine. They may be they're killing it, and that's great, and I can't worry about what they're doing. And I don't want to take away their happiness, because their success should make me feel a certain way. Only I can make myself feel that way. So I do go down it, but I have to shut it off and just say, I've got 10 sessions next week. Like, I'm doing okay, you know?
Yeah.
And, I still get people that, they'll write, so-and-so referred me. I'm like, I don't pay for a single bit of advertising. I don't pay Google for anything. And all of my inquiries are organic and from word to mouth, or they saw me on Instagram or whatever. So
that's incredible.
I mean, what they do shouldn't determine what I do. And I think if I let that control me, that's when I'm not succeeding, because then I'm worried about what everybody else is thinking.
Well,
I think.
Yeah, and I think it's really important, and you've kind of touched on this when we were talking earlier, but just like knowing your value and figuring out what your value is. And it's almost like your why. Like, you're always going to have to reassess and refigure out why am I doing this? Like, what is the best foundational reason for me to keep going on? But also your value. Like,
completely. And not placing your value on comparing yourself to other people, or comparing your successes to other people's successes. And
but you're not going to do that overnight.
Oh my gosh,
that's
no.
That's like lifetime work.
Easier said than done. We all in this room we wake up every day, and I'm sure we compare ourselves to other people in one way or another. And I think that's totally okay, and it's totally normal. It's not like you're a terrible, weak person if you do this, but it's recognizing that you do it and realizing, saying like, hey, you know what? I don't need to be this difficult on myself. I don't need to be this hard on myself. I do have a lot of value and a lot to offer, and reminding yourself of that. And it's okay. Like, sometimes I'll just go on like an unfollow spree, where it's you know what I mean? Where maybe I followed some girl like way back in the day because I thought her outfits were cute. And now I'm realizing that, like, oh my gosh, when she pops up in my feed, I feel terrible about myself. It's okay to unfollow these people. Like, no one's going to get mad at you. Like, I think that sometimes you have to go through a cleanse and just do what is healthy for you. And like you said, only, and especially on social media, only look at things that inspire you. Only follow people that you really feel like, these people like actually add value to my life, because I think that was the original point of social media.
Now,
you know what I mean?
Portable rose-colored glasses.
Yeah,
That's what it was like to keep grandma and grandpa
that's
involved in our lives, right?
Gosh, I know.
But one thing you said, I wake up and I feel this way, and I think if you don't wake up and feel those way, I mean, it's okay, but it's what you do with it. It's what it determines just where you are in life. I mean, I could lay in bed and mope all day that so-and-so takes better pictures than I, or my client of 3 years went to someone else, and that like breaks my heart. But you just can't let it get to you
completely.
And it's just like the same thing in sales, like you were saying. I can't compare myself to so-and-so. I have 10 sessions next week. Sometimes I feel like, being from like the sales side of things, you're like, oh my gosh, they have this and this and this and this going on. But then you have to like take a step back, write a list of all the things you've got going on.
Yeah.
And just like put on those blinders, and that's when you really need to reassess. Okay, what's your why? What's your value? Is like this little account worth your time? Can you invest it in other places?
And a lot of times when I get in that rut, then I shoot something for myself. Like I posted a session a couple days ago with a couple, and the sweetest couple. They brought their dog in the studio. I'd attended this conference here in Louisville. It was the Reset Conference, and a photographer from California did a couple session in my studio. And because everyone would be saying, "What do you shoot? You shoot babies, right?" No, there's more of a story in love than it just is babies. I want to shoot love. That's what I want to shoot. And so this,
Incredible.
This couple came in, and I was in control. And so I told them it wasn't a 6-month session or it wasn't a newborn session. I specifically wanted them to come in and them to capture them together. And I posted those pictures, and people were like, oh my gosh, this is on fire. Look at them, you know. A lady last night texted me on Instagram and said, my husband's celebrating our 10 years. I want to do this. Our kids are always in our pictures. I want just me and him. And so I wanted to do that. I wanted people to know that I shoot things other than babies. And so I asked that couple to come in. And so in life or in sales or whatever, if you're feeling in a rut, do something for yourself. Whether it's self-care or it's another session or it's I want to go out and take a class on how to be a better whatever. Like, you have to do something.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so important to remember. If you're not right with yourself, if you aren't right, then your job and your relationships are not going to be right. And I think that people really sometimes get that kind of backwards where they feel like, oh, I need to do all this stuff for other people. I need to do all this stuff for other people in order to feel better about myself. But, like, you really got to do stuff for yourself, because if you're not for real feeling right, if you're not happy with you, you're not going to be able to fully give yourself to other people, and you're not going to be able to fully succeed and stuff and be successful.
Yeah. And I don't think care necessarily is, getting the facial, getting a massage. Sometimes it's like, oh, hey, Amanda, bring your dog over and let's lay on the floor and talk about nothing.
Yeah. Or just you know what, I've had this task that I've been putting off for a long time. It will make me feel better if I do it. You know what I mean?
Ever.
It doesn't have to. Self-care, I think, gets this kind of weird rep now where it's like, oh, gonna order a pizza, drink a whole bottle of wine, self-care. Cool, if that makes you feel better, that's awesome. But that's not what self-care really at the root should be.
You don't need a beautiful picture in a robe with a towel on your head and in a hotel room.
Of course not.
I'm sure that's great. Never done that.
Exactly.
Goal.
Well, someone posed a question to me a week or so ago, and she said, what makes you happy? And the first thing that blurted out of my mouth was, well, when my family's happy, that makes me happy. And I stepped back for a second, and I'm like, my goodness. I'm only happy when everybody else is happy? That's so pathetic. That cannot be real. Mm-hmm. And so I started to think about it, what makes me happy? What makes me happy is when I have, a really good session. When I get excited about a session, I scream out loud, or I'm like, oh my gosh, this, it gives you the feels. What makes me happy is when the sun's shining. So I, went through this list. What makes me happy when there's not chaos in my life. And sometimes work creates so much unwanted chaos. And those are the moments where you just have to stop.
Yeah. And
breathe a second. But I'm still assessing that question, what makes me happy? Photography is one of those. Family, obviously, is another. My puppy. Spending time with good friends. And also just being inspired. Different things inspire me. But what makes you happy? If your job doesn't make you happy, it's a job. It's not something that...
way to make ends meet.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool, your story of, your progression of where you started, to what you were charging, to what you were paying, to, how you've been. So can you just share that again with us and everyone's listening? Because I think that is so, inspirational all on its own, and just kind of puts in perspective that success is not overnight.
No. Mm-hmm. I mean, I wish that it was a visual thing we could show, where Amanda came from. And sometimes I cringe when I see those pictures, but everybody has.
Oh my gosh, those pictures are so cute.
Well, I'm just saying, if you went back to, I see, the photographers that I admire, they have the exact same picture. And I'm just like, oh, I'm not alone. I just hope in 10 years I'm not where I am right now. I hope that I progress. Mm-hmm. Charge $50. Put your images on a CD. It was great. I delivered them. That's what you did. Then I got my studio. I raised them to $175. Had to pay the rent. Then, when I get into my third studio, so this is 3 or 4 years into the business, I created packages, big time packages. Still pennies on the dollar. It still would have taken me 2 or 3 years to even pay my camera off at that point. Probably wasn't profiting a lot of anything.
Yeah.
Paying taxes, paying sales tax, that sort of thing. 5 years in, had my third child, got the bigger studio. That was $500 a month at that point.
Yeah, you went from $150 to $300 to $500.
Yeah. charging like $375 for a full newborn session. That's 3 hours, over 100 of images. And then I remember the day, it was 2015, when I said, okay, this is what I'm doing. I'm charging $1,475 for a year package, meaning there's 3 sessions, newborn 6 and 12, it's $1,475. And people paid me. And I thought, how in the world is that possible? And sometimes felt guilty for charging them that, because I wasn't at that point confident in what I was doing.
Yeah.
They obviously liked it because they were willing to pay me, but sometimes I would be like, are you sure? So last August, I moved into a new studio downtown with a really good friend of mine who's also a photographer, and we share this dream studio that literally dreamt up in my head what I wanted to look like. It was built exactly the way we wanted it.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's really pretty.
Mm-hmm.
And now I charge $675 for a newborn session. And some people say, I can't believe you charge that much. And some people say you should charge more. But I'm comfortable where I am right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, where in the world can I go for 2 hours and make $700? There's nowhere in the world you can
But
go.
it took you that long to find your value and get over that.
8
Like,
years.
can I charge that? Should I charge? No, you are. You're 100% good enough. And
So 8 years.
8 years.
And, I mean, price change is probably coming.
Yeah.
So,
well,
just reevaluating things. And,
yeah.
What I'm giving and what's the monetary value on
Rent
that.
goes up.
Right. I mean, I have liability insurance. I have renter's insurance. I pay taxes. I, continue my education. I have to keep up with equipment. It's not just I go to Costco and buy a camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it was, everybody would do it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, money's great and it makes the world go around, but I feel like if the money stopped tomorrow and I just was donating sessions, I would still do it.
That's pretty awesome.
That is the message.
That is the message.
And that's how you know you've really found what you're supposed to be doing. That's incredible.
So talk about, because you work a lot, you have your studio, but you do work from home quite a bit as well. And I think it's really important to talk about when you're at home, it's okay that you didn't do the laundry. It's okay you didn't do the dishes. You're working. This is a job and you've separated it. So kind of talk about how you've been able to go from, I'm sure you still work late at night and early wee hours of the morning, but like how you've gone to like, this is work time and it's okay that it's work time and this isn't expected to be done. And
I didn't figure that out until this year. Before, it was just a rat race of moments that kids were napping, or the other older two were at school, or the youngest one was at preschool, so I could have a session. It was a lot of compromise, a lot of sometimes yelling at my kids, I just need to get this session done. Watch the TV or do something, or staying up at night, late at night, and waking up exhausted. And doing it all over again after again, just it wore on me, and it was not a healthy way of doing either job, photography or being a mom.
yeah.
But a lot of times in life, you do what you have to do.
Yep.
You put in the hard work, and eventually there are times when you can kind of sit back and not necessarily relax, but have more control. When all 3 kids are at home, I would shoot at night when my husband got home and edit when he was asleep. Just the other day I was like, you never tell me good night, because he always just falls asleep when I'm in the bed editing, and I'm like, you never tell me good night, just tell me good night. He's like, well, I never know when you're going to go to bed. I'm like, well, just tell me good night. So many hours alone editing, that sort of thing. But now it's not a ton better, but I can shoot when the kids are at school. I can edit during the day when I don't have sessions. I do still have to edit at night a lot of times because I'm attending a school function, so I didn't get to edit that day or something.
Yeah.
I probably should be editing now, but I will do it when I get home. But I don't remember who said it. It might have been Elon Musk. He was talking about how do you balance everything? He was like, there's never balance. When you do something, you're always sacrificing something else.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so
Thank you. Amen. Hallelujah.
When I read that, when I come to my kids' school to do something, they have to know I'm sacrificing something. So when I say when I get home, Mommy has to edit, they have to get it. You know, I didn't learn until my youngest went to school this year. Literally the day he went to school, I asked my husband, what are your expectations for me now? Like, you know, is it like everything needs to be done because now I have all this time to do it? Like, do you want me to go to the grocery store and get all the laundry done? He was like, no. He was like, you've been, like, donating your life for, like, 11 years. He was like, you can take a couple months off. And so it stretched into, like, maybe 6, but I really haven't had a break yet.
You're not going to get one.
No, well, usually January through March is kind of like my lull time, but it's been, like, crazy.
You're getting so good.
It's
People,
crazy.
you're like a Louisville known name.
You're sweet, but...
I moved from Wyoming to California, and look, I even used you.
Well, so I thought, usually it's my time to regroup, to make new goals, but I haven't had a chance to do that. But anyway, now, his advice to me was, like, when he's working from home, he doesn't do the dishes, or he doesn't
I love
mow
this,
the
by the
yard.
way.
He doesn't, he's working, and when he gets off work, he can do those things. And so some days I do, I multitask and edit a session and do some laundry, make the bed at 5 p.m., but most of the time when I'm working, I'm working. And you know what? My luxury is I can have a computer in my lap and watch Netflix, and some people may think that's not working, but it is for me, you know, and I'm sorry you chose to go to the office. I'm sitting in my bed watching Netflix, working. It's different for everybody.
Yeah.
But I could say I have a pretty good handle. And honestly, you just have to let things go. Like, there's dishes in my sink right now. There's clothes thrown everywhere. I have 3 loads of laundry laying on my dresser right now. It'll get done. And if it doesn't, I'll just pick it off my dresser and wear it tomorrow. Like, no big deal.
Oh my gosh, I love that more than you know, and I don't have kids.
So I think, the expectations are when you get it all worked out, well, let me know. Because I think when we get it worked out, we're not here anymore.
Oh, 1,000%.
Yep. So worked out for me is different. I'm okay with laundry on my dresser, and I'm okay with my kids watching a little bit of TV so I can get work done. So if that bothers if that's not something you can do, then you have to make a sacrifice somewhere else.
And I think that really ties into with a lot of things we've said in the past on other episodes. It's like, the beauty of it is this is your life. It's so they have their life, you have your life. They get this amazing lifetime to live it, their life the way they want.
Yeah.
Just like you get to live yours the way that you do. And Rachel Hollis said, it's none of your business what other people think of you. And at first I was like, what? Like, what does that even mean? And I'm like, you know what? That's so true. Who cares? Like,
Exactly.
it really is none of my business, because as soon as I find out, then I'm like, oh my gosh, they hate me now. Like, what? Or something stupid. You know what I mean? It's really none of my business. And I go so much farther and do so much more when I just really don't know or care.
Completely. And too, you have to think, like, how much do you really actually care about other people and what they do? And it, like, at the end of the day, like, I really don't care. So why would other people care about me? So, like, you know what I mean? You have to put it in perspective of, I actually don't care what other people are doing, so they're probably not caring what I'm doing. I should just do my own thing and just do whatever makes me happy and whatever I feel comfortable with, because I don't care about them.
Yeah.
They shouldn't care about me.
Right.
So, yeah.
But I can't say that I don't care what people think about me, because the people that I love...
Lifelong lesson again.
Yeah.
For sure.
I do care. Like, the people that are important in my life, like, I want them to, you know, accept me and love me. I do care what they think. And also, like, my clients, like, I want you to know that I'm investing in my business and this means something to me, and that I'm invested in your life. I had a client who had a baby and her husband had cancer, and they came and had a session, and I took them dinner. Like, it's more than just a transaction.
Oh my gosh.
It's a real, in business, if you don't build relationships, it's a one-time thing.
Completely.
So that, I think, I was asked, I did a little mentoringship at this workshop that I attended, and she said, what's something that sets you apart? And I had to think.
That's a hard question.
I hate talking about myself. It makes me so uncomfortable. I might be sweating a little bit right now because I'm sitting here talking about myself. But I said, you know what? I feel like what sets me apart is when they see me with their family, they know I care about them.
Mm-hmm.
It is not a business transaction. Like,
Completely.
I want to, if it's a bad session, I'm not JCPenney. We'll do it again.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't charge anymore. Like,
Yeah.
so, and even in, like, my husband's in sales as well, and I admire some of the things that he does, his follow-up and just his, like, people like him. Most people don't even know who he works for. They just know Curry. They just know his name. And I think that's awesome. If you don't have to know what my company name is, you just know that Kurt can take care of me or Amanda can take care of you. That, like, means a whole lot.
That's pretty awesome.
So I want them to know that I care about them, and so I do care what they think.
Yeah. Completely.
I think that's why it hurts when I know they go somewhere else.
Oh, for sure, of course. And maybe care is the wrong word to use. Like, not like you don't care what people think. Maybe just
You try not to let it affect you.
you don't let people's judgments affect you. I think maybe that's what you know.
Yeah.
Maybe judgment is a better
Because you
word to
definitely
use
want
there.
to care about people, or else you're a heartless
completely,
word I can't say.
completely. So, yeah.
But there are people in my life who I've wanted to impress or wanted them to like me, and no matter what I did, there was a little blog post I read that talked about the difference in Chick-fil-A sauce and how some people have barbecue sauce and some are sweet and sour and some like ketchup, and just because I don't choose the sauce that you like doesn't mean that you're not valuable.
Yeah.
And so I think about that a lot. Is I'm just not everybody's Chick-fil-A sauce, and that's okay.
Right.
For sure. You know,
I like that analogy.
Yeah.
The blog post is really good. I'll have to send it to you. It was like life changing because I'm a people pleaser, in personal and in business. I want everybody to be happy to an extent that sometimes I let people walk on me, or I maybe like give more than I should.
We were talking the other day, remember when I was like swamped with all my own stuff? I was like, what can I do to help you? And you're like, nothing. You asked me.
Yeah.
You were swamped, and I was like, I wish there was something you could do. And then I was talking to you, I was like, can I help you? And we just died laughing. We're like, why do we do this to ourselves?
Like, I just asked you 2 days ago if I could help you, and you said no.
It's just too much.
And sometimes the answer is no.
Yeah. Like,
and that's
oh my
okay.
Gosh. Girl.
There was, at this photography conference that I went to, it was awesome. I just wanted to share this thing that she said that kind of transformed what success is for me, or confidence, or the fear of judging yourself. She said, be confident with your why, that you never doubt what you're doing. And I think about, like, I don't doubt what I'm doing. And so I may not be confident yet, but I'm confident enough at this point that I'm not going to give it up. And that it still motivates me to keep going. And so once you doubt why you're doing it, you probably shouldn't do it.
Yep.
I love that.
I do too.
I think that's the ender.
That's the end.
That's the ender.
So for women who are wanting to start their own business, what is just a little bit of advice that you would say is the golden nugget that you really just hold near and dear to your heart?
Don't question yourself.
Believe in yourself.
Like, if you want to do this, if this is what you want to do, do it. Don't devalue it. If it's a business, it's a business, whether it's, network marketing, or whether it's, selling oils, or if you want to do it and take it serious. Don't half-heart it. Really do it. Because if you half-heart it, or just, it's just a side gig, or, I'm just doing this, like, that's all it's going to be.
Yep.
But so just don't doubt yourself, just do it.
Yeah.
I love that. So tell all the people where they can find you. Do you have a website? Do you have an Instagram? All that good stuff, so they can find you and support you.
Yeah. Website is amandagracephotography.com. Facebook, I'm on there. I haven't posted in a really long time because Facebook's like a fork in my side. But you can find me there. Instagram, I post daily. Amanda Grace Photography on Instagram. And they can message me either place and set up a session.
Awesome. Yay. Well, Amanda, thank you so much for being on today. This was an awesome conversation. This is incredible.
I know.
Well, hopefully you all found some benefits in everything that we talked about. If you have any questions for us, you can reach out to us, CJ and Cell Podcast Instagram. We love talking to you. You can also email us now.
Yeah.
If you
We're
want.
moving on up, y'all.
I don't know why you'd want to email us when you can just DM us. But if you want to email us, our email is cjandsellpodcast@gmail.com. Subscribe. Give us a rating. It helps our ratings. If you rate us, it helps where we're positioned,
And
right?
who knows? Maybe we'll put a little something together and pull from some names we find with reviews and give a little...
Yeah, maybe we might give away something if you give us a review. We don't know.
Or
We'll
maybe
figure
a
it out.
little headshot or a photo
Oh!
Well, there's that. You heard it here first. You get a free photo session.
You can totally come and cuddle this cute dog in cash and then wrestle with my maniacs.
Exactly.
That's great.
We'll figure it out. We'll
Keep
solidify
posted.
it.
And if there's some questions you have for Amanda, feel free to either reach out to you. Is that cool?
Absolutely.
Or you can email us and we can ask her or whatever. But she is literally an infinite pool of knowledge that people should tap into because she knows a lot of things.
Completely.
You're just so smart.
I'm old.
You're not old. Oh my god.
Wise.
You're crazy.
Last year, my 30s, that's old.
Ish. You're crushing it. I bet you're
No.
my age,
Yeah.
so.
Age is a privilege. So
It is.
Yeah, be excited.
You
that
can
you're
only
there.
gain wisdom with age.
So here's what I'm
Absolutely.
saying to all us 20-year-olds, learn from these people that have gone through these things so you don't have to do the same thing that they already learned from.
Completely.
So you're one of my besties.
Heck yeah. All right. Well, I guess that's it. I guess we'll see you next week.
We'll talk about something really great.
Yeah, okay, bye.